Hi, Sonia.
Hi, hi. Hi,
Hi.
everybody.
Hi. Okay, so we have Sonia with us today. So she's from Romania, and she's also an international IWUF judge. Okay, she's quite a common face in the major competitions. So I believe many athletes have seen her in the judging panel. She may be a friendly figure there, or maybe she's the one that is very strict. So later she will share with us some of her judging criteria or some of the factors that she actually looked into when she gave her scoring for the judges. Okay, so before that, Sonia, can you share with us more about yourself and for the viewers and for me? Yeah.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for the invitation. Thank you, team. Thank you, Leo, for inviting me to this episode. I'm Sonia from Romania. I just turned 28 years old yesterday, so I'm getting old.
Yeah, so happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. I've been practicing Wushu since I was 7 years old, like officially training on a regular basis.
Wow.
So
that's a very long time.
that's a
I think
very
it's
long
more
time
than
ago.
like 3/4 of your life. Right? Yeah.
Exactly.
It's been a very long time, a big part of your life. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
so what is
yeah.
the main oh sorry, you can continue. Sorry.
No, please ask me.
Okay. So what is the main style that you specialize in? Yeah.
Well, at first, actually, what attracted me most to Wushu was Sanda, because my father is a Sanda coach. So I used to join him at trainings ever since I remember myself. Even before I could walk, I would join him
For
in
training,
his
right?
Sanda trainings. Yeah, so I liked Sanda because I used to watch the athletes and they were training so passionate Sanda, and I really wanted
Yes.
to learn it. But at first, actually, I started basic techniques in Chan Chuan. After Chan Chuan, my mind was still focused on Sanda. I wanted to fight, but thanks to my parents' wisdom. And of course, I thought it was not so appropriate for a girl to actually compete in Sanda competition. Not that I don't like Sanda women competition. I like it. It's not. I think it's not for me. And then I switched to Tai Chi Chuan because, especially the routine with the fan Shanzi, because I liked it very much. I just found the routine and I started to learn it, and then discovered some more routines, and I stayed with Tai Chi Chuan for quite some years now.
Okay, wow. Okay. So is there any particular style of Tai Chi Chuan that you specialize in?
Yang style. Yeah.
Oh, yang style. So maybe yang style specialist.
Mostly,
okay.
Yeah.
So what is the main thing that attracts you to Wushu?
Well, I like to think that Wushu is just part of my life. I don't consider that I practice Wushu like a sport. I just make it part of my life because it was there ever since I was born. So I cannot imagine my life without it because it's a part of me. So
So it's a very big influence by your parents, because your parents are also Wushu practitioners, and then
my father only.
Oh, your father only. Okay.
Yeah.
So your father was very passionate about Wushu, and then that passion actually passed to you, and you are continuing his passion. Okay. So were there any challenges that you faced during your Tai Chi training?
Well, of course, there are many challenges that any practitioner has to overcome, especially if you're training for competitions. In my case, in our country, but I'm sure this happens in most part of the world, you cannot just be an athlete. You have to make a living first. So you have to go to school to study, go to university, and then have a job, work, and then train. So I would say that time was the biggest challenge in practicing Wushu. I mean, not the actual time, but how you organize your time so you can do everything. You can study, work, and still practice and go to competitions.
To have a good balance, right? Because it's not easy, especially when we have to study, we have to work. So it's a work-life balance. All right.
Exactly.
So was the culture or language issue for you, like an issue? because as you know, Wushu is really mainly from China, right? So most of the content are actually in Chinese. So do you face any language barrier or any like cultural barrier regarding
Yeah,
this?
actually, the culture itself, I wouldn't say it was a barrier because I embraced it and I enjoy it. I like it very much. Actually, the
Mm.
language could be considered quite a problem because, well, nowadays we have more and more teaching material in English and everything. But back then,
Yeah,
when I started Wushu, like 21 years ago,
it was pretty tough, right?
yeah, it was really tough because everything
Yeah,
was in Chinese, and if you didn't know Chinese, then it was challenging
to
to learn
understand.
it, to
Yeah.
understand it. Yeah,
So
yeah.
so do you understand like some Chinese along the way because you were exposed?
1、2、3、4。
Not too bad, not too bad. Yeah, that's the basic one, two, three. Yeah, because I
Yeah,
think
just
this is very
some really
common.
basic Chinese. Yeah,
Yes, because I think it's a very common challenge that many non-Chinese or non-Asian actually face because yeah, everybody loves the Chinese culture because it has very rich heritage,
yeah,
rich cultural values. So everybody want to understand and appreciate. But sometimes the main barrier that we face is really the language. Yeah, and
exactly.
Chinese is not that easy to learn, right? Because the characters itself, it looks so, yeah, it looks like some unique symbol and icon which we may need some time to understand. Okay,
Right.
so do you have a Wushu inspiration or idol that you look up to?
I wouldn't say I have just one idol or one a particular Wushu idol, because there are so
Mm-hmm.
many athletes and coaches and even judges that have inspired me throughout my journey in Wushu.
Okay.
But what I
Mm-hmm.
can say is that I try to see the best parts in everybody, and I try to learn from all Wushu people I get to interact with,
Mm-hmm.
even from the very little ones, like the children I'm now teaching, to the biggest masters. Because I think we have to learn
Mm.
something. We can learn something from everybody, even from the little ones.
Yeah, I think so. You have a very humble character, whereby it's not just like us teaching, but it's more on like learning as we go. Yeah, because
Exactly.
ultimately Wushu is always evolving. Yeah, from the past
Yeah.
to the present. So yeah, like the zixuan, the Nandu itself, it has evolved so much like since you first started. So I think it's good that we have this very positive or a open mind to keep our minds so-called informative with the changes. Okay, so what is the popularity like in Romania in Europe? Yeah, because coming from the Asian countries, it's pretty popular in Asia, right? Because of all the kung
Of
fu
course. Yeah.
movies. Yeah, but how about
Yeah.
in the Western part, the European countries? Yeah.
Well, at least in Romania, the society has changed a lot in the last
Mm-hmm.
decades. So this consequently led to changes in Wushu's
Mm-hmm.
evolution as in terms of popularity as well. In the past,
Mm-hmm.
Sanda was much more popular than Taolu. Everybody wanted to fight and to learn
Uh-huh.
Sanda. However, in the last years, more and
Yeah.
more children started to take part in Taolu competitions. They watched, maybe Kung Fu Panda or I don't know, and they started to join our classes, but wanted to, particularly Taolu, like, I want to become the tigress from Kung Fu Panda. I don't know. So, uh,
So
and
movies do inspire
yeah,
children, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
So
And
entertainment
of
and
course,
movies
there's
do play a part.
yeah, and there are also the people that may not have heard about Wushu, but if you tell them about Kung Fu, for sure they know. So in Europe,
Mm-hmm.
we are trying to associate these terms so that we make people understand it's the same. Wushu is Kung Fu, and yeah.
So have they been very receptive of the promotions? So are people like willing to
Yes.
accept kung fu as part of their lifestyle, or are they open to explore this sport?
In Europe,
Mm-hmm.
of course, the most popular sport is football, and
Yeah.
other sports have to share the remaining 10% of the population who practice sports. Well,
Mm,
I'm joking. Maybe it's not, the percentage is not
okay.
that high, but anyway,
But
the
it's
rest of the
majority,
people
right?
who,
Yeah.
yeah, football is in Europe is like top sport.
It's
But
a craze, right?
of course, yeah, yeah. when people start to practice Wushu and they see how beautiful it is, they usually stick to it and they recommend it to other people. And so, yeah, they are receptive. But
So
after they start to train.
So how is Wushu? Yeah, but how is it being promoted? Is it through competitions, or is there any like strategies that either the federation is adopting or any organization is adopting to push Wushu like further in the European countries?
Yes, well, actually, the European Wushu Federation started to have more and more competition formats lately, these years. Even now, by the way, with this pandemic that we are now facing and we cannot travel, we were supposed to go to Moscow for the European Championships, but they got cancelled, of course, because of the virus. The European Wushu Federation will host the very first European online Wushu Championships, of course, only for Taolu.
Online
Championships.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think it's a great idea because like athletes, we are still motivated to practice at a certain high level and to adapt our routine to the space, to the limited space we have in our homes or in the backyard. And we have to, to adapt, to make the routine shorter, to shoot it and then send it to the European Federation. And yeah, I'm really excited
so
about
how does it work? I'm
this
very
competition.
Curious. Yeah. I'm so very excited. It's the first time I heard about a online competition.
Right.
Can you share more? I think many of the viewers are also curious. Yeah.
Yeah. It will take place from 25th May until 5th June on the Facebook page of the European Wushu Kung Fu Federation. And each and every event will have a dedicated date and time when people will upload their videos. For example, I don't know, Chan Chuan boys,
so
9, 11 years old, from 9 o'clock until 12. So everybody who wants to compete, of course, national team members will upload their videos and the judges will be in online Zoom meeting and they will judge and give scores. Yeah.
Okay. So are there any like restrictions in the routine because not everybody's house is so big, right? They don't have so much space to do the full routine. So what is the requirement? Wow, I'm very curious. I think this is a very exciting piece of news.
Yeah, for example, for children, you must perform between 35, 40 seconds, something like this. No more than 35, 40 seconds. You have to include certain techniques like Gentitui, fist, palm, some stances, at least 3 stances, something like this. And the space you must be maximum 6 meters and 6 or 3 meters. So this is the maximum. But if you have less space, of course, you just mark whatever space you have and you perform it without violating the country's restrictions in terms of the virus.
Oh, this is very interesting. I've never heard of this before. I think this is also a very good initiative. Yeah, I think it's a very good eye-opening event that I think other countries can actually consider and adopt as well. So how does the judging work then? Like you mentioned in the Zoom, so how does it work? So is it still based on the 5-3-2 kind of judging?
No, just 5-5 without Nandu. You can perform like a rotation, but it will not be considered as a C group difficulty. They will judge just A and B, and they will go online all together and give scores for athletes, and then medals, of course, diplomas, and the actual real medals will be given at the next European Championships when we will be able to finally meet. Yeah.
Oh, this is very, very interesting. So where can athletes upload the videos to? Or on Facebook, or there is
Facebook,
a channel for them?
There will be a dedicated page for this event on Facebook, and athletes will upload there.
Interesting. This is really very interesting. Oh, we have a viewer that mentioned that it has been implemented in India as well. So I think many countries are looking at different ways to really to make Wushu vibrant in the social through social or internet, through the internet, so that everybody can be connected. I'm just very amazed. My mind is like mind blown now.
So, of course, because no one knows when real competition will actually be able to take place again. So
correct. Yeah,
we
because
have to adapt.
there is no date, right? There is no date to say that when can this COVID-19 be totally
Right.
removed from the world, and when can we start to travel from one place to another. So I think this is a very good initiative. Probably you can share the link later. So I think
Sure.
I think many Wushu enthusiasts can actually take a look at this very interesting online competition. Oh, I think later I will do quite a bit of research as well. Okay, so are there any restrictions that you faced in the promotions of Wushu in Romania or in Europe? Like whether do you face any like restrictions?
Not really, no. Other than the fact of the popularity of other sports, so the media share, the remaining media share is quite small, so that would be a restriction. But other than that, no.
So, in Romania, in Europe, you can see the popularity of Wushu increasing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, what do you see? How Wushu will fare as a sport in Europe, like in the next 5 years? Will it still be the same, or do you think that more and more people will start to get involved in this sport?
I hope more and more children will start Wushu, because children are our future. And of course, I hope that the current junior generation will turn into a high-level adult division. Of course, we are facing now the 2022 Dakar Olympic Games, Youth Olympic Games, so everybody is pretty excited about this. And in Europe also, we are training to this purpose. And I hope in the next years, Wushu will continue this trend of going back to its martial roots, because I think it happened some years ago that it because of the will to enter the Olympics, we went a little bit far from the martial part of Wushu. And now I think things are starting to go back and to be more martial, as it used to be more beautiful.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So I want to find out more about your competition experience, because I can see that you are still very active in the competition scene, right? So I've seen that you have been to the World Kungfu Championships, like the recent editions. So quite a frequent competitor there. So can you share more about the experience of being part of the World Kungfu Championships?
Well, it's a unique event. There are so many participants there, and so many events, and so many. You get to see so many traditional routines with different kinds of weapons that you didn't ever consider that they could be weapons. It's really interesting. Yeah, I love that event. It's really nice, and it connects people and cultures, and it's really nice. I enjoy competing. Everybody is curious. Sometimes I'm competing, sometimes I'm judging. People ask me, "Oh, this time you're a judge." Yeah. I enjoy switching both sides. It's fun. It's fun to compete. It's fun to judge.
Part of your learning process, right?
Yeah, of course.
And because as an athlete, you will get to learn things that you don't see as a judge, and as a judge, you get to see things and learn things that you don't get to see as an athlete. So it's really a very good multi-perspective kind of thing that you get as you participate in different competitions as different roles, right? Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So how is your judging experience so far? So I know that you are like a very pretty senior, pretty experienced judging in different international competitions, right? Yeah, you have been to the World Junior Games, World Junior Wushu Championships. You have judged for the World Wushu Championships. So how has the experience, judging experience, been for you so far?
Well, even though I'm still young, let's say, for a judge, I'm among the oldest judges. I mean, in terms of the years. Judging.
Yeah, very experienced.
Yeah, I've first taken part in a judges course when I was 14 years old. Just not with certification, but just for learning, because I felt I've been placed much more lower than deserved at an important competition, and I simply wanted to understand why. What have I done wrong? What can I do to further improve my performance? So of course, many people would say that this is a coach's role to just tell the athlete what to do and whatever. But I agree and disagree with this statement. Of course, the coach prepares you and everything, but when the time comes, when you're competing, you're just all by yourself, and you have to keep in mind what you have to do in order to keep your score high. So. For me personally, because I'm a very analytic person, it was important to know the rules. So I've studied the rules for many years, and in 2010, when I turned 18, I took part in the international judges course in Beijing, hosted by the International Wushu Federation. And I took the license as a judge. After that, in 2014, I was promoted to grade A judge, and I've been keeping it like this ever since. I can honestly say that being a judge helped me a lot in my career as an athlete, and the other way around. So I strongly recommend all athletes to take a judge's course, even though they won't judge and they don't want to officiate in competitions, but for sure it will help them a lot in their performances.
Definitely, because during the course we will get the judges will actually get to get a more in-depth information and knowledge, as well as more detailed analysis on how movements are being like a judge, or how points are awarded, how the non-boosts are calculated. So I think it's a very systematic course, which if we apply it based to our coaching or as an athlete, it would be very beneficial and very useful. So I also believe I would totally agree with Sonia. You know, for those who have the chance to go ahead and go for the judging course, because it will help you understand the technicality of Wushu so much more.
Of course, for the coaches, the same thing applies. I mean, the coach should also take a judge's course to see how to better prepare their athletes.
Okay, yeah. So are there any difference in the standards or trends, like comparing from the past and the present? Like, because you have to judge like over the years, so I think Wushu has evolved over the years as well. So are there any difference when you first judge and judging now in the standards or the trend?
Well, like I said before, I think of course we all follow the development and the trends, and a few years back Wushu started to make a few steps too far from its martial roots, and now gladly we are coming back to it and show a greater variety of techniques, not just this in Chan Chuan and then stop, make a jump and whatever. So now people are starting to do more and more techniques, and this brings me great joy, because we show how beautiful Wushu is, and how great variety of techniques there is in Wushu, not just 3 or 4 techniques that everybody used to do before. So yeah.
All right. So are there anything in particular that impressed you the most when you're judging? Like when you see an athlete, so what captured your attention the most? Yeah.
Well, first of all, I enjoy seeing good conditioning of an athlete, and also a strong knowledge of basic skills, because many people skip this years of training just basics, and an experienced judge will notice immediately when somebody just waves its hands from left to right but doesn't understand a thing of what the actual meaning of the techniques are. And so I think the basics are very important. And for example, in Chan Chuan, if it's maybe a little bit more easy to hide this lack of bases. I'm not saying Chan Chuan is easier or so, but it's just more popular and has more accessible teaching material and everything.
Yes.
In Nanchuan and Taizi Chuan, you can immediately see when somebody knows the style, has trained the basic, or just learned from Master YouTube, or I don't know.
Okay, so you really
Yeah.
your main the main focus or the main factor that you look at is really on the basics, right? The technical
Yes,
foundation
yes,
of the
yes,
athlete.
yes.
Yeah.
I try
Okay.
to
Then
see
what
if
is
the
the
athlete knows what he's doing, if he knows the meaning of each technique performed. I also like to see an athlete that has taken care of his appearance before competing. Like you cannot compete at a high level competition with your costume wrinkled or stained or whatever. You have to take a little bit care of this aspect because it is quite important.
the impression, right?
The
And
impression,
because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
also it's also considered an artistic sport, so I think the visuals, the entire outlook of an athlete really plays a big part, right? I
Yeah.
believe like yeah, if you see an athlete who is like well groomed, well dressed, as compared to someone who looks a bit sloppy, immediately the attention would be given to the one that's dressed like
Yeah.
properly and nicely. Yeah, so image is very important. Okay. So, are there any unique like judging experience or any unique athletes that you see that give you a very deep impression?
Well, I can say that absolutely all my judging experience have been wonderful and unique, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
very grateful to have been part of so many high-level competitions.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I try to learn to fill in my gaps with every competition, to become a better judge for the athletes, for which I have, of course, a great admiration. And I
Mm-hmm.
think the judges should train on a daily basis, should understand all the particularities of each and every style, because we play as a judge as judges, we play a great role in a competition. We must not disappoint the athletes. The athletes have trained for so many years, for so many months
Yes.
for the
Yeah.
competition, and we have to take this very seriously and to understand what they are doing and to rank them accordingly. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Right. So, do you have any like particular tips for the athletes, like for them to impress the judges or to do better in the arena?
Well, don't skip the basics. Train basic techniques. Try to find
Yeah.
a meaning for every movement that you include in your routine, not just
Mm-hmm.
wave the hand, just to know for sure what is the martial meaning of the techniques, and
Yes.
take care of your costume.
So all these are really very important, right? The first impression. So,
Yeah.
so you yourself also coach athletes, right? So, what is the hardest thing about coaching? You feel?
Mm. I think the hardest part of coaching would be to manage to speak
Mm-hmm.
the language of your athlete, because you have 10 athletes, you have to speak
Mm-hmm.
10 languages. I'm not talking about the actual language, but you have to know how to explain for each and every athlete
Mm.
so that they understand, because some athletes um, are lazy and you have to, you know, bargain with them to get them to train. Uh, Others
Yeah.
just exaggerate and do it for too many times or too much, and
Mm.
they get overtrained. So you have to tell them to calm down, everything's fine, just do it like this and like that. So it's not easy to be a coach, but if you manage to find out the language of
Yeah.
your athlete, then you can have success.
So it's really about the communication, right? So I think the
Communication,
key
yeah.
thing here is that, yeah, because I think there's a manner that you speak to a younger athlete, let's say children, and then
Yeah,
for someone
right.
who's older, you can't use the baby language or the baby mentality to talk to them. So it's really very different. Yeah. So
Yeah,
yes, I agree. The communication is actually a very critical part of being a
yeah.
coach. Yeah. So we also have a very few questions on how to not get too nervous during the competition. I think this is a very common experience, right, by a lot of amateur athletes. You know, when it's their first time to go onto the carpet. So how to calm your nerves, especially when there's so many pairs of eyes looking at you.
Well, that's a tough question, and I'm probably not the best person to answer it. I don't know. I think it just comes with you may say that it comes with the years and of practice and of participating, but I've been competing like I don't know, 15 years now, and I'm still nervous before a competition. I don't know. I mean, I think, and that's what I am teaching my students also. The most important thing is that you have to enjoy being there, enjoy competing. You have to feel good about yourself. You are doing it for yourself. Nobody. I mean, you shouldn't think about what people say, what people might think about your routine. You just go there and enjoy yourself, and that's what you train for.
Agree. Yeah, because sometimes some of the athletes are participating in competition because they are being asked to, or they are being like forced to. Like sometimes I see children, like crying before they get to perform because they're really nervous, and maybe at the start it's not them who want to participate in the competition, or rather it's their parents who hope that they can actually overcome their fear of performing in front of the large crowd that make them in that situation. Okay, so as we observe, as you mentioned, a lot of competitions or a lot of focus have been brought back to the martial component of Wushu, right? So that's also why we can see many traditional events or different traditional competitions that's happening. So so how do you see this traditional component evolve as the years goes by? Do you think there's more people that will do that, or probably Wushu will still stay as where it is? So what is your thought on this?
Well, I think the traditional component is essential. It's not like important, or I don't know. It's essential. It's more than important. It's basically what makes Wushu. So
yes.
I'm very glad that more and more traditional events are introduced, and people can actually compete with the styles they've been training. For example, there are so many Wing Chun practitioners that didn't have a chance to compete, but then it was this competition, I believe 2 years ago, or hosted by the International Wushu Federation, like a Wing Chun World Cup.
Wing Chun, yes.
Yeah, and I think it was very well received. And in Europe, we have this European Wing Chun Championships, like from, if I'm not mistaken, maybe we've reached the 4th edition or something like this. I'm not sure.
Wow.
But anyway, people enjoy it, and they are happy that they can perform this kind of style in a competition.
So was it really due to the movie, the Ip Man movie, that caused the popularity of Wing Chun to increase so drastically? Is it the same? As in, I think from the Asian countries it's like that, but
it's
for
possible,
the European countries, is that Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a question here. So which do you like more, being an athlete or being a judge? Is there a preference?
Not really. No, I enjoy both of them the same. It just when I'm judging, I'm a little bit more relaxed, than when I'm competing.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, true. I'm happy
because
that
it's also less physically exhausting, right?
Yes, and I'm happy that I can spend more time with my friends when we meet as a judge. When I'm competing, time together is limited because you have to get some rest and whatever. But as a judge, it's different.
You can hang out a bit more.
We can hang out a bit more.
The next question, So the next question we have is: are your friends amazed that you do Wushu?
Yeah.
Do they like see you like a hero, like a like a super, like like some of the kung fu novels, all these characters. So does your friend have that impression as well for you?
Yeah. At first they don't believe me. They say, but can you beat people or what? You are blonde, blue eyes, you have like braids and everything. So, but you can beat people. And I say, no, I don't beat people. I'm learning techniques. It's different. I'm not like. Yeah, but it's nice. They encourage me before every competition, and I'm very grateful to all of them.
Okay. So what do you wish to achieve in the future? As in, because you have been Wushu in this field for almost like 20 over years. Yeah. So do you see yourself like doing this all the way when you're old, or like as a senior? Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Or do you think you will give up halfway?
I will never stop doing it. I mean, of course, I will not compete until I'm old, but I will try to promote this beautiful sport in every way that I can, and for as long as I can. I hope. Well, I usually don't like to speak so much about my plans. I just want to make things happen and then let the facts speak for me.
Yeah. So we are really looking forward, as in everybody have like their own plans, because we are trying to like put our individual effort to helping this sport or helping this community to grow. Like even Wushu Stars also, like it's an initiative to get everybody together, and then we can share ideas, like the online competition. Yeah, I only get to know it when you shared it with us, and I think many more of us can understand this, and we are definitely looking forward to that. So yeah, this is everybody plays their own part in a little way, and all this little effort will add up to a very big effort. So I think this is something that we should look forward to. Okay, so we have a few like questions, or personal questions that that you may wish to answer. Let's take a look. Okay, we have a request that you sing. So are you a good singer, or? Yeah, because we have been talking about the technical component. Yeah, so let's try to get things a little bit more casual. So yeah, so do you like sing?
That's from Jessie, right?
Or do you think that they're teasing you? Yes, from Jessie.
Yeah, I started this because last week when Jessie had a live interview, I asked him to sing something, but he didn't sing it, so I won't sing it now unless he joins us and sings with me. My voice is so terrible, but I love to sing. I like karaoke or something, but I only do it with like very, very, very close people to me, because I'm ashamed, because my voice is like, oh my god.
So you're very shy.
Because of my terrible voice, yes.
Okay, let's not let's keep this a secret, all right? Let's not let other people expose your hidden talent. Okay, so now because of COVID, so how is the situation there in Romania? So I for Singapore, we are now so-called recommended to stay at home. So how is the situation like in Romania?
Well, for us, it's pretty much the same. We are promised that on 15 May, we will be able to go out without so many restrictions. But who knows? For now, we are just in our homes, and we have to make a special paper when we want to go out shopping or something. So.
Oh, okay. So you need to seek approval to head out.
Yeah, like
So how do you stay active, like in this Wushu, with Wushu, when you're home? Like,
Well, thanks to the European online championships, we are very, very active. We train every day.
Okay.
I made out routines for my children, for my students, and we connect on online every day. I've discovered the rooftop of my building, and I'm training upstairs. So I have a very large space to train, and unless it's raining, because the last week was quite the weather was quite nasty here in Bucharest, but now it's sunny, so yeah.
So how was the training like through online as compared to a physical lesson?
Much more difficult.
Or you think
it's much more difficult because you cannot correct your students in the same way you would do like when you see them. They send me videos, I edit them with comments, and then they have to perform all by themselves and listen to what I have to say and try to correct themselves. It's not so easy, but it's better than nothing, so we are doing it.
Yeah. So everybody is trying to stay positive, trying to stay think of ways to connect with our students. And I think because the students themselves will feel pretty bored at home, right? Especially the younger children. Yeah, because there's nothing much they can do except the phone and internet, right? So I think it's very good. It's a very good initiative for coaches, Wushu enthusiasts like you know, to keep the Wushu community going. Yeah. So okay, we have a lot of requests that for you to sing. No, as in, they are flooding the comments. Okay, okay. They asked whether could you sing just one line. Yeah, just one line.
Oh my god.
Okay, she's thinking. Everybody's just thinking. All right, maybe you guys can encourage her. Yeah, a little bit more. Just a line. Probably just a teaser. Okay. Yeah, don't worry. I will stop you from singing if let's say that they continue the comments. Yeah.
Last just night I had a strangest dream. I sailed away to China in a little rowboat to find you. You said you had to get your laundry clean. Didn't want no one to hold you. What does that mean? You said, ain't nothing gonna break my stride. Nobody gonna hold me down. Oh no. Now it's your turn, Jessie.
Yeah, wow. Hey, look, okay, she's very spontaneous. Sonia is so spontaneous. Okay,
I hope our viewers don't exit because of my terrible voice.
No, I don't think so. I think you can send this challenge to the person who actually requested, I think Jessie. So I think you can actually send him a link later to make sure that he sings for you as well, right? Yeah, it's not easy, guys, okay? So you have seen another side of Sonia, okay? You have seen her as an athlete, as a Wushu judge, and then now you see her as a singer, exclusively through Wushu Stars Live. Yeah. So, other than Wushu, do you have other hobbies that you do have or that you are engaged in? Or it's just Wushu for life?
I'm working at the National Bank of Romania. I've studied statistics, cybernetics, and informatics. So I'm working as an economist at the National Bank.
So it's very stressful.
Yeah. I like cooking. I try all kinds of Chinese food, Mexican, Indian, whatever. Yeah, I like cooking, and I also like to spend most of my free time with my cat.
Oh, okay, you have a cat.
Yes, I have a cat, and yeah, he's like my baby.
So how long has your cat been with you?
1 year and a half, something like this. Yeah.
So it's a relatively young pet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially I think the cat would be very happy, especially during this period because you're at home most of the time. So because I have a dog, so basically the pets are very happy when the owners are like at home. Yeah, yes, it's the first time, you know, like we spend like almost the whole day with them. Okay, so okay, so for those who are curious, okay, so Sonia has been a judge since she was 18. So for those who have just joined us, okay, just a quick refresher. So she's from Romania and she's an international Wushu judge. Okay, and then for those who just joined us and missed out the earlier conversation that we had, don't worry because we will actually upload the entire conversation that we have onto IGTV. Okay, so if you have missed the earlier part, no worries. By tomorrow, the whole entire conversation that we have with Sonia will be uploaded on IGTV. Okay, so let me give a quick update on what's going to happen tomorrow because after having Sonia as our guest, tomorrow we will have another guest, okay, Sydney Chen from Malaysia. She's a Malaysian national team athlete who specializes in Tai Chi Chuan, Tai Chi Jian. Okay, so she will be doing a sharing here as well. And she will also be doing a simple workout because everybody is stuck at home. So she will also be doing some physical workout so that those at home or those who are watching can actually follow her exercises. Okay, so with that, Sonia, do you have any last words or any like final message that you want to share with our viewers in Wushu Stars?
Well, thank you so much for having me here today, and I hope you're not scared by my voice. And I hope to see you all in the future World Wushu competitions. So until then, just keep on training and we know this pandemic is a great opportunity actually to train the basics, because they don't require too much space and you can just do it in your living room.
Yeah. Yeah, this is exactly what our previous guest from the previous episode, U5, the national Wushu team coach from Malaysia, actually shared the same thing, because now everybody's trapped at home. So the main thing that we can train is really to work on your basics. Okay, if not, you will look like you are like waving aimlessly when you are doing your routine, as what Sonia has mentioned. So spend your time wisely. All right. So once again, thank you, Sonia, for joining us, and we hope to see you guys soon. All right, tomorrow at 8 p.m. All right. See you. Thank you, Sonia.
See you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.